2022 gonna be an absolutely crazy period for blockchain, crypto, and Web 3.0. And it's a massive opportunity for you if you want to transition your career into Web 3.0. In this video series, I'm gonna cover how you're gonna do that. So let's jump into the video. Hi, this is Rajat Rattewal and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I focus on three things. Number one, help you become a Web3 blockchain ninja. Number two, solve climate emergency by promoting sustainable products. And number three, help you decode your life equation so that you can live a happy and meaningful life. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to my channel. Welcome back. In the last video, I talked about Web3 stack, right? If you have not watched that video, I would highly recommend that you first go and watch it, because in this video, I'm gonna cover the first layer, which is the blockchain. And you might already have heard about blockchain, especially systems like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was the first system that actually introduced the concept of blockchain. So it introduced a system which was decentralized, which was transparent, which was immutable, so that you cannot easily modify that. And it was also a trustless system, right? In the Web3 stack, you have various blockchain layers. Ethereum was the first one that actually revolutionized the whole Web3 stack, right? And they introduced a concept called smart contract. So think of blockchain as a database layer, right? Where you can store data, and it's not going to store your like media files or images which are like very, very big, but think of it as a certain set of information or the transaction or the data that you want to store, but it's storing that in a more decentralized way, in a trustless and transparent manner. But you can run a program on top of it. You can programmatically access the data, right? And that's what set it apart from the Bitcoin world. So Ethereum is, like, for an example, is a platform. Think of it as a state machine, which is kind of a world computer, right? So you have this decentralized peer-to-peer network, a database, which we call blockchain. And on top of that, you have this compute layer, right? Where you can run programs in smart contract, right? And that can interact on the data that is available on the chain itself, or we can bring data from outside world. And we'll go into some of the off-chain, how you're going to bring that by using something like Oracle for the blockchain. So if you're a beginner into it, I would highly recommend that you actually go to the website of Ethereum, right? And they have this documentation. There is also one of the visual demonstration I've found from Anders Brownworth. He has created this, and you can fork the GitHub repo from him, right? He has created this visual representation of blockchain. He has recorded a couple of videos also, right? I would highly recommend that you watch it. I will touch based on a very high level, what blockchain is and how it works. Though he has covered that in a detail, but I just give you a brief demo about it, and you can go and watch these videos later. So one of the first question that comes in, like, when we talk about blockchain, you will hear things like hashing, you will hear things like mining, you will hear things like blockchain, right? Smart contracts, all of these things, right? But how that it look like, and the public and private key, wallets, there's a whole set of new terms. And we're going to dig into details when we actually build a practical end-to-end application. So one of the foundation that actually works on it, right? So if you, basically you can store any data, right? I'm not talking about the media file and the images, right? But arbitrarily you can store any length of data, even a whole book in it, on the blockchain, right? On the block itself. And the unique part is that it creates a unique hashing mechanism, right? So whatever the data is, it's a digital fingerprint. So this hash, which is randomly generated, is the foundation of the blockchain, right? You put any of the data and you get a unique hash. Okay. Now, what is block? So block is something that uses this hashing, this hash behind the scene, but add lot of other information. And this is a very simple demonstration where you just have two set of information other than data, which is the block number and the nouns. Now, what is nouns? Nouns is something like, one of the key things that you need to understand to add data onto the blockchain. There is two ways that the first way is that you interact with the blockchain with your public and private key, and you create a transaction. And then once the transaction are generated by different users, right, they are clubbed together into the blockchain block, right? And to add that block to the blockchain, this is done by miner. Okay, and I'm talking about a simple proof of work, and there are different consensus algorithm like proof of stake and whatnot, or proof of space, and you will find various consensus algorithm. But the whole idea of consensus algorithm is that to find that nonce. So if I, and which is like something, taken an example, like to make something valid, this, they run a very compute intensive trial and error program, and once they run it, it creates a nonce, and it makes sure that it's been originated by that miner, right? And they get a block reward on top of it. So that's like block. When you chain these blocks together, you get a blockchain. Okay, so every blockchain will have a previous hash. So if I chain something on my initial block, you have to remine everything, you have to do the rework. But to make it even more complicated, right, you can add peer-to-peer distributed nature into it, right? So this has been run by various peer-to-peer, and even to make it more tamper resistant, you sign it via your public and private key. So this is something that's, your public and private key is like is a unique identifier. You can have like any set of your number, and you have this public key. This is unique to you. Normally this is held by a cryptocurrency wallet. So I'm gonna have a separate video on crypto wallets like MetaMask, which is, you highly use that for any set of decentralized application. So this is something being stored within the wallet itself, right? So this is my public key. The private key is like, I can reveal that. So if I go into my account details and export private key, so this wallet has my private key, right? And to put anything on the blockchain, I have to sign it with my public key and private key, so which can be verified, right? So I sign it with my private key, so making sure that I'm the one who's raising the transaction. So the transaction, like if I have to send money from one public key to another public key, right, I will sign it with my private key, right? This is my message, right? And it can be verified with my public key, and that is added to the blockchain. So it's a peer-to-peer network. Now each of these transactions, right, so in the block you can have various transactions, and each transaction will be signed by my private key. And this is a peer-to-peer network, right? So nobody can tamper, even if all of the people in the network, right, all of the miners basically agree together, they even if they still mine by changing everything, right, they will not have my signature. This is how it form a decentralized, trustless and transparent system. And in the next set of actions, right, I will cover layer 2 sidechain, and then we'll, first I will cover all of these details, and then we're gonna build a end-to-end application covering all of it. So if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, and see you soon. Thank you.